Hi, everyone. My name is Bran Petranovic, and I'm running for election to represent your interests on the KICA Board of Directors.
What are the critical priorities for the association and why?
I think there's three critical priorities for the association. The first one is to develop a comprehensive plan to address the infrastructure challenges that KICA and the island face. In my mind, there's really two large infrastructure challenges. The first relates to weather and climate change, and the second is the increasing population and property development that we've seen on the island. So obviously the climate change and weather has been very impactful this year. Last winter, many of our boardwalks were destroyed by rising tide and flooding. And then we've seen a lot of issues with property developers on the island and an increasing population's impact on traffic. So I think developing a plan to address these infrastructure challenges are a number one priority for the association. The second critical priority is the association's finances remain in good order, but we are in a Goldilocks environment right now. We've seen a great amount of property sales, a very high number of property sales, and at elevated levels. And we've seen strong investment performance from our reserve fund portfolio. This is great, but that situation can change. In the meantime, our expenses have really increased. And so we really need to have a plan and look at a variety of contingencies as to what to do when some of those revenues decline in the future. The third critical priority, I would say, is just improve the membership experience. That can come in the form of being more timely with our communication and more detailed, and also being more transparent with both our communication and our actions. And it's also maintaining the beauty that is on Kiwa and maintaining the standard of care that we have on Kiwa.
It's important for the board to be an effective governing body. How will you contribute to that?
So I have a lot of experience being on investment committees, advisory groups, and being on boards, as well as dealing with boards, both from a professional perspective and a volunteer perspective. Locally on Kiwa, I'm on the finance committee, and I'm also on the board of directors of Windswept 3. All of these experiences lead me to believe that the most effective boards and organizations are formed by people with differing opinions who debate in a civil and respectful way. And I myself plan to bring a very professional, civil, and respectful style to the board, understanding that people have different opinions, but always focused on improving Kiwa for its members and seeking ways to have positive outcomes for our members.
If you are elected, it is likely you will be asked to lead a KICA task force or committee. Which one would you choose and why?
I would choose leading the finance committee. I've been on the finance committee for 4 years now. I'm also the treasurer of Windswept 3 on the island, but I also have an extensive background in finance, both from an academic perspective and work experience. Within the finance committee, Akika's finance committee, I've done budget calls, I've spoken with the auditors, dealt with our reserve specialists. I've helped draft and update the financial controls manual, and recently was involved in revising and updating our investment policy statement for both our reserve fund and operating cash. And I actually presented that revised investment policy to the board and to membership in an open forum. So I have a lot of experience with the finance side, and I think that's where I would love to have an opportunity to lead that committee.
Beyond its formal responsibilities to the association, what leadership role can and should the board members play in the community?
I think the board members can be ambassadors for the island, promoting the island both internally and externally. And I also think that board members should be more interactive with similar homeowners associations to improve our best practices and learn how we can deal with similar issues that we may face. But ultimately, I really think that The board members should be very focused on improving the membership experience and also progressing the KICA per se.
Tell us something about yourself that most members wouldn't know.
Well, I'm a very sporty and active person. I really consider Kiwa to be paradise. There's so much to do on the island. When I'm here, I have a 13-year-old and 11-year-old son. We spend a lot of our time crabbing and fishing. They consistently brag about how they, have catch larger fish than me, which is annoying. But we spend a lot of time being very active on the island. We golf. We play basketball, soccer. We're at the sandcastle swimming. We've kayaked, played tennis. There's just so much to do on the island. And as I mentioned, I'm very active. I really try and utilize every aspect of Kiwa that is possible. And I think it's so important to maintain and improve on the beauty that is Kiwa Island.